Okay, so you saw the previous video where I went over some lackluster, usable builds for Heart of Deimos. No, to hell with all of that. We're gonna go with the actual good stuff, the real good stuff, the real broken stuff. It starts right now. Here we go. First up, we have Grendel. Hey, you know what Grendel can do? Here, I'll show what Grendel can do. Look at this. He can make himself into a ball. Yeah, that's right. He can turn himself into a big ball and run over enemies. But hey, guess what? Guess what we're getting? Oh, that's right. Octavia is giving us her Resonator, which is a small ball. It's a small ball. It rolls around and follows you, and enemies chase after it. So if you take this and you give it to Grendel, then you can ball while you ball. You'll have a big ball and you'll have a small ball. The small ball will follow the big ball around. It's gonna be balls to the wall. Enemies are gonna follow the small ball. You can just run over the big enemies. They won't even know what hit them. This is the new meta. The meta is ball. Next up, Limbo. Hey, you know that thing that Limbo does where he goes into the rift and then enemies can't hurt him, but he can't hurt them either? And hey, you know before how we used to use Exodia Contagion to hit enemies outside the rift while we were inside the rift? And you know how DE made that update where they nerfed that? And they said, I quote, "This allowed for Limbo to attack from a position of invulnerability where normally damage cannot cross the rift unless it's a Warframe ability of some kind. We intentionally did not fix this until after the Scarlet Spear event, but it is a bug." Oh, so you're saying that Warframe abilities are allowed to pass through the rift, which we already knew, hahaha. But unfortunately, Limbo doesn't have any damaging abilities that can pass through the rift. But hey, what? Guess what? Now he does, people. He does now. Yo, check it. Ash is giving us his Shuriken. That's right, throwing stars. You can throw throwing stars at enemies from far away, and you hit them, and it does a little bit of damage. So, yeah, you can do this, okay? You take your Limbo, you give him throwing stars, and then you can just stand around all day inside the rift, generating energy, free energy. And then you can just shoot enemies with your throwing stars from inside the rift, and they're outside, and you can hurt them, but they can't hurt you. And you're gonna kill like one enemy per 30 minutes, but that doesn't matter. Because you're immortal, okay? You're just goddamn immortal. They can't do anything against you, but you can do everything against them. Moving on, we have Gauss, okay? Isn't it lame how he can't really run all that fast? I think that's lame, but that's fixed. DE fixed it. You see, Neja is giving up his Firewalker ability that lets you run fast. So finally, Gauss can run fast, which he couldn't before. So you take this and you put this on Gauss, and then you max out your sprint speed, and then you combine it with his Mac Rush, and then you have a team with a Volt and a Wisp, and they give you more sprint speed, and then finally, Gauss can run like at least as fast as every other Warframe in the game. It's gonna be great. He's not slow anymore. Okay, so check it. Octavia does this thing with music, but wouldn't it sort of be better if she didn't do a thing with music? Right? So here's what you do. You take Banshee. Banshee's giving up silence. That's right. Wonderful silence. So you get this aura around you, and enemies can't hear you. So what you do is, you take your Octavia, and you remove that stupid Resonator, because we don't want anyone to hear you, or know that you're there. And then, you just mash your... You play your number 3 ability, and then you just mash the control button, and just spam crouch, until you go invisible. And then you play this, and you don't have to hear anything. It's all nice and quiet. And you can just sneak up on enemies, being invisible. They can't see you, they can't hear you. That's double invisible. New meta. Octavia is now the best stealth frame in the game. And finally, for the best of these builds, this is one that's gonna shape and define the meta. So, here's what Oberon does, right? He puts grass on the ground. It's hallowed. That means you're not allowed to stand on it, but a bunch of enemies, they just do anyway, even though they're not supposed to. So here's what we're gonna do. Necros is gonna give us the Terrify ability, so you can just scream, and the enemies are gonna be like, oh shit, and then they're gonna run away. So when they're standing on your hallowed ground, which you're not supposed to because it's goddamn hallowed, they don't understand. So you just scream like as loud as you can, just get off my lawn! And they're gonna get off your lawn, and you win. That's how you win. And that's it. That's the top 10 builds for Heart of Deimos. And if you have your own suggestions for builds that are even better than this, then you have to write the opposite of them in the comment section, because if DE finds out that we're doing this, then they're gonna nerf every build. So you gotta be sneaky about it. You gotta tell me the opposite. And that's gonna do it. It's gonna trick everyone.